You know when people say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory," what you're talking about, it's a conspiracy theory. What do they actually mean? People say, "Oh, that's a conspiracy theory." Oh, okay, define for me what a conspiracy theory is, because most people who say that's a conspiracy theory, when they label something a conspiracy theory, what they're doing is they're dismissing it as untrue. You know, you tell someone, do you know that the world works like this? And they go, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, or you've been listening to conspiracy theories. What they mean is that's not true. Because in their head, anything that's labeled a conspiracy theory is not true. For example, in this series of videos, I am going to start talking to you about conspiracy theories. And we're actually going to look at what they are and whether or not they're actually true. Because let's take most people that would watch this video, right? If I say we're going to look at this conspiracy theory, most people would automatically in their head think to themselves, well, this isn't true. You tell somebody something's a conspiracy theory and they automatically go, oh, this isn't true. Let's take the majority of people, if they're watching this video and I tell them I'm about to tell you a conspiracy theory, in their mind, they think, oh, well, this is going to be made up. This isn't going to be true. How can you possibly know that before I tell you what it is? I tell you, listen, I've got a conspiracy theory I'm going to tell you about. And you automatically think, well, this isn't going to be true. How can you possibly know that? I haven't told you what it is yet. If I tell you, oh, I've got a conspiracy theory I want to tell you about, and you automatically think to yourself, well, this is going to be made up, this isn't going to be true because it's a conspiracy theory. Okay, I've got a conspiracy theory in my head. You go ahead right now and tell me how you know it's untrue. You can't do it, can you? Because I haven't told you what it is yet. Okay? You've got this perception in your head that this conspiracy theory that I'm on about isn't true before I've even told you what it is. If you've got a friend or a family member that says to you, oh, you're getting into conspiracy theories, what they're telling you is anything that's classified as a conspiracy theory, I consider to be untrue before I've found out any of the details. So what I'm asking regular people, normie people to do is just start to consider, hang on a second. Where did this come from? As soon as I mention to you the word conspiracy theory, you automatically think to yourself, oh, this isn't true. Where did that come from? Because I'm talking to you about a conspiracy theory today. I'm going to tell you about a conspiracy theory, and you've already decided in your mind that this is a conspiracy theory, therefore it must be made up. But you don't even know what it is yet. You see, somebody has implanted into your brain the idea that what I'm about to tell you isn't true. All you know about it is that I'm labeling it to you as a conspiracy theory. So automatically, you, the normie, have decided somebody has primed you to start saying to yourself, this isn't true, conspiracy theories aren't true. Where has that come from, ladies and gentlemen? Where has the idea that conspiracy theories aren't true in your mind come from? Because it's come from somewhere. I haven't told you what the conspiracy theory is yet. I've just told you, listen, in this video, I'm going to be delving into a conspiracy theory. And you're sitting there like, well, this isn't going to be true. How can you possibly know? You don't even know what it is. This by itself is evidence of brainwashing. You've been manipulated into having a reaction to anything that is labeled a conspiracy theory. And the reaction that most people have to a conspiracy theory is, well, that must not be true. Which is very interesting, because the first conspiracy theory that I want to talk to you about is the phrase conspiracy theory. Where does the phrase, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, come from? Because we've already established that it comes with many, many connotations. You find out something's a conspiracy theory, you automatically consider that it's all sort of made up and it's going to be weird and I'm not going to listen to it. All these preconceptions come into your head around the term conspiracy theory. Why is that? Where does the phrase conspiracy theory come from? What does the phrase conspiracy theory even mean? Most people, most normal, regular people think that the word conspiracy theory means something that's made up. That's not what conspiracy theory is. That's not what a conspiracy theory is. A conspiracy is an actual word. It's actually it's a crime. If you're committing, if you're planning a bank robbery and you've got all the plans and you're getting all the weapons together and you're getting ready to rob a bank, and then you get caught planning a bank robbery, you can go to prison. Okay, a conspiracy is a crime. You can't plan to do something horrible and then get caught and just be like, well, I haven't done it yet. That's what a conspiracy is. You can be charged with conspiracy to commit blah. You know, it's an actual crime. So a conspiracy theory, it doesn't mean that something isn't true. It means I think I have a theory that a crime is being planned out here. It's got nothing to do with whether something is true or false. But the regular person, when they hear the words conspiracy theory, they're primed to say to themselves, oh, that's a conspiracy theory, therefore it's not true. Another word for a conspiracy would be a plot. So it's kind of a secret plan between a group of people to do something illegal. And when people hear the phrase conspiracy theory, they go, oh, that's not true. It's like, wait a minute. You think that nowhere in the world are people planning to do something illegal? And especially to do with the government. Whenever the government are involved, or Hillary Clinton or someone like that, people go, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. Wait a minute. You don't think that anyone in the government, people like Hillary Clinton, you don't think that any of them are planning any sort of illegal activity? Let me ask you a question. Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein is a conspiracy theory? Do you think that you can literally go on Google Earth and see the images of the pedo island and the satanic temple on top where they did all sorts of horrible things to children? You know, Prince Andrew's involved. Is that a conspiracy theory? Is the interview where Prince Andrew goes on about the fact that he had sex with a 15-year-old or whatever, is that a conspiracy theory? I mean, do you actually think that there's no wrongdoing in the world? You think that nowhere in the world people are planning a crime? Of course they are. Of course they are. You have just been primed that when somebody tells you that something is a conspiracy theory, you've been primed to ignore it. You've been primed to ignore anyone that tells you, hey, you know, these people are, there's a crime is being planned out over here. Oh, no. There's no crimes that are being planned in the world because I've been taught that conspiracy theories are all made up. It does really make me laugh when you tell people that the government are involved in some sort of a plot or a conspiracy. People are like, oh, I'm rejecting that out of hand. That's the most ridiculous. You think the government are secretly planning to do something? That's ridiculous. Let me read to you from the Wikipedia entry under conspiracy. Ready? There are some coordinated activities that people engage in with secrecy that are not generally thought of as conspiracies. For example, intelligence agencies such as the American CIA and the British MI6 necessarily make plans in secret to spy on suspected enemies of their respective countries, but this kind of activity is generally not considered to be a conspiracy so long as their goal is to fulfill their official functions and not something like improperly enriching themselves. They are literally telling you that when the government agencies that are basically created to do things in secret that you don't know about, when they conspire to do something, that's not a conspiracy because they work for the government. There's actually government agencies like MI6, like the CIA, that are literally doing everything in secret. They're conspiring against people the whole time. So when you tell me there's no such thing as a conspiracy theory or conspiracy theories are false, it's like, hey, buddy, these government agencies, okay, they're employed to conspire. You're just told that everything they're doing is legal. As soon as a government agency do something illegal, they're committing a conspiracy. You don't think the FBI, the CIA, or MI6 are doing anything illegal? I can literally point to you to the 2016 election and the Russian collusion hoax and show you how all of our intelligence agencies were conspiring together against Donald Trump. All of them. That's what the whole Russian collusion thing was about. So anyone that thinks that the government can't possibly be involved in conspiracy theories, dude, there's government agencies that they're employed to conspire. That's all they do. All the CIA do is conspire secretly and work things. What do you think they're doing in their offices? Do you know what they're doing in MI6? Of course not, because they're doing secret plots. You just trust that everything they're doing is legal. And when someone comes to you and says, hey, I believe the government are doing something illegal, you go, I've been primed to reject this out of hand and say the phrase conspiracy theory. Thank you very much. You think that the government are doing something illegal. I've been primed to reject this out of hand before I even know what you're talking about. So the government definitely aren't doing anything illegal because of the term conspiracy theory. Well, do you know why that's interesting? Because guess where the phrase conspiracy theory comes from? You remember these secret government agencies that are conspiring the whole time? Guess where the phrase conspiracy theory comes from? You're never going to get it.
But this phrase, and people don't realize this, has been specifically weaponized by the CIA. And there's a memo about the weaponization of this phrase that dates back to 1967. So if you haven't seen this document, now you're going to learn exactly when this phrase, conspiracy theorist, became weaponized to shut down anyone who would question our dear centralized government and its official narratives pretty much on anything. The dispatch itself is marked April 1, 1967, April Fool's Day, how apropos, and it's from the CIA's Clandestine Services Unit, and it's labeled Psych for psychological operations. So in other words, disinformation, okay? And the subject line is countering criticism of the Warren Report. And they open up by saying that people don't trust the Warren Commission. Considering Alan Dulles and wise man John J. McCloy were on it, I'm not really sure why anyone would. And public polls showed that 46% of America didn't believe that Oswald acted alone. Half the country didn't believe the government. They go on to say that that's particularly concerning, especially to the agency. If you go through this report, you'll see all these tactics they mention employing against anyone who publicly criticizes or questions the official JFK assassination narrative as a conspiracy theorist. The tactics they say to employ include discussing the publicity problem with liaison and friendly elite contacts, especially politicians and editors, meaning that the CIA admits that they have what they call friendly elite contacts in Congress and in the mainstream media who will help push the official narrative onto the public.
Do you have any people being paid by the CIA who are contributing to a major circulation American journal?
We do have people who submit pieces to American journals.
Now, this document is available online for anyone to find, if you can find it. The first thing you're going to learn about conspiracy theories is finding out what actually went on is quite hard. If you search in where does the phrase conspiracy theory come from, you're not going to get BBC, Sky News, first link telling you where it comes from. Okay, what you're going to get usually is like Snopes or factchecker.org, Ministry of Truth, telling you the CIA didn't invent the term conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory. And what you're going to learn to understand is whenever you see one of these Snopes or fact checker telling you that something's not true, honestly, these days, that is the clearest sign that what they're talking about is true. Because you can find this CIA document for yourself. And you heard the CIA guy there admitting, yes, we employ journalists and politicians. The CIA employ journalists and politicians to feed their narrative into the media. Okay, this is admitted. They're controlling you through the media. And what you can see today is whenever people are suspicious of the government might be plotting this or that, the media and the politicians come out, that's a conspiracy theory. You can see them doing this every day. And this is where the phrase comes from. These government agencies that do nothing but plan things secretly invented a phrase that their assets in the media use to discredit people that say, hey, the government is planning some illegal activity. That's literally where it comes from. You can read the documents yourself. That's all I want to talk to you about in the first episode of examining conspiracy theories. The actual phrase conspiracy theory and where these negative connotations in your head come from. They've been planted there. Worse, they've been planted there by the government. Think about it. The phrase conspiracy theory. I mean, when you call something a conspiracy theory, and when you tell people that I think the government are up to no good, they kind of turn around and they say, listen, you think that the people with all the power are abusing their power? That's ridiculous. Is it? You think the people with all the power and the wealth are abusing their power and wealth? That's crazy. Is it? Or is it actually, if you think about it, the most likely thing ever that the people with all the power are abusing their power? I mean, what do you know about people that have power? They abuse their power. But because of the term conspiracy theory, whenever you say, hey, I think the people in power are abusing their power, you're programmed to go, that's a conspiracy theory, by the actual people that are conspiring. That's the end of episode 1, ladies and gentlemen. If you would like to support this channel, the link is in description. We do need you to support this channel. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. And when we do, we've got a great series on the history of the Bible that we're going to bring out, Bible in 24 hours. But we need to get to 100 subscribers first. We're on 92 at the moment. So the more of you that can help, link in description, the better. Thank you very much. See you in the next video. See you later. That's the end of the video again. The video's ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ending now.